Gentlemen, ladies, welcome to another War Room. We're back with Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, or Forged Alliance Forever, if you will, which is a magical thing. I'm already fumbling. I got word salad, it's not right. Alright, so, as you may be aware, I usually like to start with an air factory and get at some Tech 1 gunships, those cybern little fuckers, and cause some shit, and basically be a dick. That's what I'm all about. But I decided to switch it up a little bit with this particular game, and I don't think it worked for me on the whole. But here we go. So we got a land factory, which is a more standard strategy, and then I've gone 2 power generators and a engineer, land scout, 2 engineers, and those engineers are going to sort out my mass extractors. Let's speed up. So I got that land scout out, stealth that little bastard, and I just like to get a preliminary view of his base, of my opponent's base, just to see their general strategy. And then I'm pumping out some land units on repeat, but because I weirded up my strategy, it was a little bit clunky, and I went with an air factory. As you can see, I've paused it right now, but it was just draining my my resources too much, and it was slowing down my land unit production. Here we go. Then the commander gets in the way and spoils the party, and then it's all over. I had planned to set up a little bit of a force back here and then surprise him with it when he went to expand, but that did not work out. The commander certainly crashed the party. Ruined that for me. Alright. This was a very clunky start for me. I'm surprised. I'm surprised I did as well as I did. So there you go. I've got my gunship, but by then it's just too late. Preempted my air assault, setting up anti-air units, and now he's starting to harass me. And I just do not have the land units to deal with him at this point. So this base is pretty much gone, and we're at around the 8-minute mark now, and I'm starting to feel, oh shit, have I lost this? But no, my resources hold together just long enough for me to get this secondary base out, and I can start pumping out some serious land units. Now later on you might see he starts to get some Tech 2 land units out. Not yet, but soon I think. And this surprised me. This is only the second time I've played a game in Forged Alliance Forever where anyone has gotten to Tech 2. It's just been like an over within 10 minutes game. Usually just boils down to a land spam, maybe a bit of air, see if it's available, naval units. But yeah, it surprised me, and I'm wondering if this was if it's due to my opponent being a little different in his strategy, or because I let him tech up, you know. I feel like that could contribute to it as well, because I didn't really. He caused a lot more damage to me than I did to him, certainly from early to mid game. So let's speed it up again. Now what you're going to see is me pumping out land units inadequately. I get out a few, but it's just not enough, and then I have some trouble microing. I'm not going to blame the lag for my own inadequacies, but there was some lag. And I feel like, for whatever reason, it made it difficult for me to micro these land units. I just could not get them to do what I wanted them to do. But as you can see, the commander comes up, and I try to take a few pot shots at him. Now this is a strategy, I've got to be honest, I do not understand. I do not understand the idea of bringing the commander up to the front line to sort out attacks. If it's just a few units at the start of the game, sure. But at this point, I feel like you should expect your opponent to have enough units to cause damage to your commander, serious damage. And this is why I never bring out the commander onto the front lines. The closest thing I'll get is bringing him around the back and doing sort of like an ambush type of thing while my regular units cause a distraction. So and the reason I don't understand this strategy is like I fully understand why, because the commander is a really powerful unit, but the reason I don't understand is because whenever I win, it's because they pull the commander out onto the front line, and I got you know, an easy shot at him, and I can just swarm the commander and with my Tech 1 units, and he's gone. But if you kept him in the base, the game would have gone for a lot longer. I would have had my work cut out for me. I would have had to destroy a lot more of his units. I could have served some point of defense. Now this is interesting. Most of my opponents in the past have not even bothered with point defense. This guy is doing it. Well, I don't mean like completely not bothered, but he seems to be going heavy on the point defense, which is interesting. I feel like he's got the units, especially a little later on when he takes up, he's got the units to swarm me, but he doesn't. So maybe I did a good job on just keeping him distracted long enough, keeping his front lines busy so that I could cause some shit. Alright, so my base is, for all intents and purposes, ready. I feel like I've run out of mass right now, so I've got to get some. I don't want to stall my unit production by getting engineers out, and then there's the unnecessary micromanagement of because they're on the repeating build queues. So I send my commander out. He's a faster builder anyway. He's going to get this done, and I'm going to get him across the map over here. This is my plan, to build another base in the top corner there. But they're onto me. He sends his Tech 1 land units after me, and at first I'm like, I got this, but then they start to swarm me. Let's speed up. So he's taken out my first base, he's after my commander, and let me tell you, at this point, you got to notice in a second, wait for it, there we go, right there, I had actually decided, nah, I'm gonna lose this, and I'd pressed Control K, I was ready to self-destruct. But then I thought better of it. I'm like, no man, I've got units over here. I can pull this out. So I send the units over to assist. As you can see, just a simple assist command, and they're gonna help my commander out while he finishes up his excursion for mass. Let's speed it up. So surprisingly, I pull that out of my ass. Meanwhile, I managed to keep them occupied and prevent them from coming into my base and destroying my secondary base there. I send them around the side, and I had a lot of trouble here. They get caught around the edges there, so this was a micro nightmare, but I managed to get them around and attacking from both sides. And at this point, I'm under no illusions, delusions, whatever the word is, that I'm going to cause any kind of significant damage to him. I'm just trying to distract him and prevent him from attacking my commander, while my commander finishes up with this mass. And it seems to be working. I'm stalling at times pretty bad, especially on my power, so I decide to get some power generators in here before I bother with the factories. And then I just decide, nope, that's gonna take too long. I think that was my decision, or it was gonna suck my resources dry. So I decide, bold move, I don't know what I was thinking honestly, but I decided to send my commander over here, not just to get that mass extractor, but to try and do a bit of an ambush thing. And at this point, I do not think I can win. I've conceded, right? But I'm like, no, I've still got a base, I've still got units, I don't want to just give up. I hate it when that happens, when people do that. So I don't want to be that guy. If I'm going to do something, then it's going to be a kamikaze commander self-destruct in the middle of his base, right? Because that's like my kind of dick move. So then I'm like, oh no, I don't want him to see the commander or swarm the commander so that he goes off outside of the base. So I pull him back, and you'll see that sort of playing commander chicken here, back and forth, deciding whether or not to actually go the whole hog and send him in, because I'm like, well, hold on, I saved the commander once, maybe I can pull this out. So at this point, I pull the commander back. I'm starting to focus more on like whittling down his defenses, and to try and actually scrounge up a win here. Let's speed up. And there we go. I spot his commander, and I start to do some damage to him. This artillery really saved me. Without the artillery, I wouldn't have had a chance. There we go. There's his Tech 2 units, and at this point I'm like, oh shit, it's Tech 2 time. I'm seriously behind. I'm not going to be able to pull this out. So then the commander comes back out, and I'm getting ready for that kamikaze run. Because those Tech 2 assault bots, they're just tearing shreds into my T1 units. There's not much I can do about that, or so it seems. So I'm getting this flanking going, and now that I know the outcome of the game, I feel like that did a lot more than I thought it was going to do at the time. So he has to have seen that my commander's right there. So I gotta wonder what he's thinking is. Maybe he doesn't have the units, or feels he doesn't have the units to just make a push and end it with my commander, or he feels that if he does that, I'll end up taking his commander because I've got more units. I'm not sure, but there we go. There's the commander chicken, just back and forth. Do I? Don't I? So now it starts to happen. I start to get in there. I get rid of his factory. I think it was, I'm not sure what tech level it was. And that artillery is like, they take out my force, and then the artillery is just like, yeah, right. You got to destroy my bots? We'll take that, and just takes them out, which is nice. So that's what you like to see. Here we go. Commander's running. And so my commander's right back out there. I'm like, dude, maybe I can snipe his commander with my commander. That's my thinking at this point. That artillery's doing some shit. Look at it go. Alright, speeding up. Finally, I've like penetrated his outer defenses. He's nice, he's soft and squishy. All he's got is units. And I'm starting to get in. And at this point I'm like, oh shit. I had conceded. I was convinced I was going to lose. Alright, then some shit starts to happen. And this Tech 2 bot is up in the grill of my commander. And that's serious. But I do manage to pull it out. And here we go, guys. Here it is. I'm jumping for joy on the inside. And I realize, oh shit, I've got the game. What? And there it is. He'd gone to Tech 2. And I managed to take him out just with a swarm of Tech 1 units, which in some ways makes me die a little bit inside. Cause it's like, oh shit, I spammed him. Oh. But on the other hand, I feel like to be able to come back from that, you know, took out my base, he almost killed my commander. He out-teched me bad. He was slaughtering my T1 units, and I managed to pull it out. I feel good about that. I feel a little bit ashamed, but I also feel good. Feels nice. That's right. Look at that. Oh yeah. Not to rub it in. That's like, this is the best part of Supreme Commander. Just looking at that freeze frame nuke right there. That's what you love. That's what you like to see. All right, let's get a nice look at that. Anyway, looking at the replay, I realized compared to me, for sure he didn't build enough factories, and if he did, he could have kept up with my spam. And speaking of spam, I'd like to come up with some new strategies, because spam in this game is fun compared to spam in other games, I feel. But yeah, I'd like to try something a little different. Maybe try to be a little bit more sneaky, Cybran style. But yeah. There we go. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and with your liking and sharing and Lloyd and Gloin, all that good stuff. Before you go, if you like music, and I know you do, Go swing over to my website, link in the description, riccardoestate.com. And I've just released a brand spanking new single for a new album, episodic album, concept. It's a bit cool. Check it out, guys. And I'll see you next time. Roleplay Gamer, out!